This time on Roadkill Garage, we're putting a Hemi in the Mopar Muscle Truck.
And then taking it out.
And then putting it in.
And then taking it out again.
And then putting it in.
And then once more time, out.
But that's progress. What we have here is a 1974 Dodge D100. And it's not just any truck. This is one that I really care about, and I call it the Mopar Muscle Truck. I've had it for about 10 years after picking it up out of a junkyard for about 900 bucks. I've been falling in love with this thing ever since and making it better and better. You've probably seen this truck in a previous episode or two of Roadkill Garage. We ended up stabbing in a 500 horsepower 360 small block with a 4-speed, and I thought that was gonna be it for this truck. Everything seemed great until I was towing David's Crusher Camaro to the drag strip, and I developed a pinhole in the cylinder wall, making that engine a dead player. So what did I do? I had a 318 that was a dyno engine, and I stuffed that in really quickly. The little 318 managed to do spectacular burnouts until it blew a ringland, smashed into the cylinder head, and cocked the piston over and cracked the cylinder wall. So that thing was done. So where does that take us? I have a 5.7 Hemi that I've had around forever. I got it from Chrysler and used it for a whole bunch of dyno testing, and I want to build a 392 stroker out of it and back it up with a 6-speed manual transmission. Hopefully, I'll make the ultimate Mopar muscle truck. On this episode, I plan to start building the 392, and I've got Wiley and Birdsong coming by to help. I've already run into a bunch of trouble getting parts because there's some supply problems going on right now, and we may not finish it this time. But that's okay, because I bought a 74 Charger from Birdsong, and he's bringing that with him.
So is this the part where you tell me you already put the motor in?
No, I wish. Feast your eyes.
Oh, yes, this little guy.
Well, I mean, we had like 4 different small blocks in here, and I blew every single one of them up. But I'm gonna go and put a Gen 3 Hemi in here. I'm hoping to make around 6.25 horsepower.
Sounds pretty decent.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do to it other than motor and trans? Or?
Well, the trans in it is 833 overdrive, which means 4th gear is overdrive. So it's basically a 3-speed stick on the drag strip. And man, you can't shift this thing at high RPM, believe me.
It just won't go.
No. I've got a 6060 Tremec out of a late model Challenger, so hopefully we can make that work.
I know you were mentioning suspension stuff. You wanted to lower it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to slam to the weeds, but
It'd be nice if you could just roll an engine right up to the tailgate and just unbolt it and slide it right in the back of the truck. I think we just got to go down like 2 more inches.
That's what I'm thinking.
So maybe some leaf spring shackles in the back to drop the back, and then I don't know what they do up here. They do a lower control arm or a spindle drop? It's
a lower control arm off a van, which bolts in with a few mods and lowers it, so.
Oh, okay. Should be a piece of cake.
Yeah, well, I mean, none of that's going to be that easy until we get this thing rolled into the shop and start working.
I was going to say, it's getting pretty hot out here.
Oh, this part's easy.
All right, bro. She's moving pretty good.
Yeah. I hear someone coming down my road. Oh, man.
Is that your new Charger?
It's Birdsong.
What's up, guys?
Birdsong.
What's going on, dude?
Dulcich, I have brought you your new bona fide racing car.
I thought I told you to bring me a 10-second car, not a 10-minute car.
10-minute car? No faith?
What is this? Oh.
Racing car.
Well, it looks like we got a brand new Brawler carb. Looks like we got some Mickey Thompson valve covers.
That's 20 horsepower, those valve covers.
And you've got the Roadkill gas can, so that must mean this thing runs and drives.
That's NASCAR approved right there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but you're forgetting the most important part.
What's that?
Twin piston supercharger,
factory.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you guys, you don't know what's coming.
It's got some potential.
And one other thing, this has a factory racing tack in it.
Whoa!
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Dash cluster?
Does it work?
This is an SE full-blown racing car. Those gills on the side right there, that adds to the air vortex and makes it super slick through the air.
I did see the SE badge.
The Charger turned out to be way rougher than I was expecting, but I've worked with worse, and I think it can turn out to be pretty cool. Right now, what we need to do is focus on the MMT.
So, Steve, is this the part where you tell us that the 3rd gen Hemi is ready to drop in?
Third gen?
The third gen Hemi is completely taken apart. I'm not sure if everything's there to make an assembled and completed engine, but I'm gonna put it together and hope for the best, maybe end up with an engine.
Some kind of game plan, right?
The game plan is to get as much done as we can until we're missing a part or something we didn't foresee comes up to derail the whole project. And I'm not kidding around, because that can happen. This is uncharted ground. I've never done the late model fuel-injected 6-speed swap in an old pickup before. I'm gonna handle the engine build. I kind of know all the parts. I took it apart. I'll go as far as I can, which is hopefully all the way to a completed engine. And yeah, we gotta take the old motor and trans and stuff out of this. So if you guys wanna handle that.
Oh, dude, we can tag team it. I say, don't leave me hanging for a second.
Thanks, Steve.
I've got Birdsong and Wiley mocking up the motor and trans into the truck. And meanwhile, I'm gonna be putting together that 392 stroker.
There it is, Wiley. How do you want to tackle this thing?
You take left, I'll go right.
You've got the whole Z-bar linkage, all that stuff?
Yeah, I'll pull all that out if you want to try and get the drive shaft.
Yeah.
That'll equal things out, and you get that header, I'll get this header.
All right, so motor mounts, we'll get the transmission mount, and then out.
Yeah, we'll roll it out and clean it up a little bit after that.
Yeah, I don't really want rat feces dropping on me as we're working underneath it.
All right, sounds
good.
You know, if you were afraid of spiders, you would not be working on this truck.
Oh, this linkage is proving to be a little challenging to get out.
As long as it's not the black spiders on my hands, I'm fine.
Oh, wait, those are the cute ones.
Oh yeah, the one with the little red dots on the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My favorite part. Oh, that's a good feeling.
Let me know when you're ready. I didn't start you there, did I?
All right, exhaust is coming out. All right. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, all right, Steve, your crappy exhaust is removed. So I'm gonna remove the shifter, and this is like a slip style. You could take a feeler gauge and slip it in the one side that's got a clip on it, really tight next to the shifter, and it'll actually push the clip out of the way and allow you to pull the shifter out, and that clip rides right there. So all you gotta do is slide that to unlock the clip, and boom, your shifter's out. Got her out?
It's sitting there dripping in the pan. All right, let's get the engine hoist. Pump it up.
Dude, let's get this thing out of here. Lowering crane.
Going on down. All right, pump it up.
All right, you tell me when. We got that transmission jack under there too.
Looks like you boys have got it.
Ugh, Wiley.
Dude, motor is out.
Dude, you and I, 1. Dulcich, 0.
Thanks, guys. Nice work. The guys did a great job pulling the engine and trans, so that means it's cleared out and ready to get the 5.7 Hemi, which happens to be all around me in pieces. Now, one of the problems I ran into with this particular crank is that it had 4-bolt mounting for the reluctor wheel. That was a later modification on the Gen 3 Hemi. The earliest engines had 3-bolt reluctor wheels, which I happen to have on this particular engine. So one of my jobs was to find a wheel with the same tooth count as the original, but with 4-bolt mounting provisions. And you have to make sure to get high-performance racing style bearings that are narrower, because these crankshafts have large fillet radiuses in the corner, and if you use regular passenger car bearings, a lot of times you'll get oil starvation in the rods and even the main bearing. So high-performance bearings all the way around. Now, the stroker crank may or may not fit the block. I'm gonna have to mock it up in place in the block, put a rod and piston assembly in there, and see if it hits anywhere. If it does, I'm gonna have to do a little grinding on the block for stroker clearance. Well, that doesn't hit. The only one that looks like it might be close is right here, where there's a bump for the oil passage. So I'm gonna check that one. Okay, it looks like I've got plenty of clearance for the long stroke crank. Now I can go on to assembling the rods, pistons, and rings in preparation for getting all that stuff in the block.
Steve's inside getting the 5.7 short block put together. Me and Birdsong already pulled the motor and trans out of the truck. We figured we'd get a bigger head start on him by grabbing the other 5.7 Hemi and transmission out of the back shop here, mating them together, and just dropping it in the truck to make sure everything fits.
You're good. There she be. Oh, I think I see a problem.
Oh, yeah?
This is a 3-bolt. I think Steve ordered a 6-bolt. So just have to double check that when we get up there.
All right, hopefully.
Oh, this thing's heavy.
He probably looked at it, right?
It's Steve.
Yeah. Sweet.
Beep, 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 beep. The close indicator when you're getting too close to hit something.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's a proximity sensor.
Yeah, that's it.
Man, this thing's high-tech, Steve.
All right. It's a little smoother over there.
We're going straight on.
Oh.
Hey, Birdsong, give me a hand with this thing.
Holy crap. Hercules.
Let's put it straight down.
Yeah. I didn't know you were gonna Hercules the thing in here.
Well, like, you wouldn't know where to be found.
I was over here working.
No, I'm just kidding. You got her?
Yep.
All right, you're clear on this side.
Okay.
Don't go any closer, though. Sweet. All right, I'll go find the pressure washer.
Okay.
How's that?
Good. All right, Wiley, I figure while the truck is outside drying, we'll go ahead and mock this motor up and get everything ready so we can actually drop it into the truck. What do you think?
Sounds like a good idea to me, sir.
How does your motor mount line up?
It looks good. I think you got the right one for this side.
Yeah, I think I got the right one for this side, too.
Do you have all the hardware and everything already?
I do. Here's a couple bolts right there. We also need to drop this oil pan off so that way we can put the conversion oil pan on, because this has a rear sump versus the oil pan that was factory on the 5.7 Hemi is a front sump.
Right.
Let's get the motor mounts on. We'll mock everything up, get the oil pan on, and let's see what it's gonna take to drop this sucker in the truck.
Sounds good. Oh, she's empty. Oh, she got a little
No,
bit.
it's got oil in it.
And it's not even mud. Oh, well, maybe a little milkshake.
Yep, Steve didn't blow this one up. Ready, Wiley?
Yeah, it's started on there.
Isn't that pretty looking?
Man, it's pretty nice.
Do you think
ready?
Steve is really working?
Steve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while.
Torque on these is 20 foot-pounds, and then a turn of 90 degrees after that. There's my 20, and I'll go to my 90 next.
I think this whole shebang goes.
Actually, yeah, that's all one unit there. Here,
Yeah, I'll
hold
give
on.
it your way.
There you go.
There you go.
Look at that.
Boom. We pulled out the rest of the electrical components that are required to run a carbureted car: coil, ignition box, voltage regulator, ballast resistor. It unplugged cleanly from the firewall, and if Steve ever wants to put this back in the car, he'll have no trouble reinstalling it.
What I'm doing now is I'm cleaning up the rods. They have some Cosmoline for storage while the things are shipped, and I'm just gonna clean them off with the cleaning solvent I have right here, give them a little brush, and then let them dry. Oh, yeah. Just the way I like it. Nice, clean, and ready for installation.
The truck is literally calling for the 6-speed now. So we just need to bolt it to the back of the block and get it ready. Because you know what's better than 4 gears?
6.
6. That's right.
Right.
All right, so let me know how much you need to go up.
Actually, this back needs to come up a little. That's good right there.
Right there?
I think so. Let's try going in.
All right.
It lines right up. Boom.
All right, you know what will really impress me? Put this on your shoulders and drop it in.
What is this, a Marvel movie? So we've got the mock-up engine pretty much in the engine bay by now, but we're gonna try and get the motor mounts to bolt up and see if everything else works, but it's looking pretty good so far. Okay, that's in. Are you in?
Yeah, go down.
And going down?
Oh, did it just fall in?
Yes, sir.
Ah, it just fell in, dude.
Boom.
What I'm doing here is I'm going to hang the pistons onto the rods. Now, they have to go in the right orientation, and on these particular pistons, there are lefts and rights. So I'm going to pay attention and make sure I don't make a mistake.
Trying to stuff this big old honky TR6060 transmission in the D100, we have come across some unforeseen obstacles, but not unexpected. The transmission is hitting the bottom of the floor and the bottom of the tunnel on the D100. So we're gonna have to pull the engine and transmission back out of the D100, pull the seats out, pull the carpet out, and start doing some hackery on the floor pan just so we can get this transmission up into the body for the correct driveline angle.
Steve's got all kinds of friends on the farm, including small vermin, dogs, cats. There's goats next door. All friends of the family here, except for they don't clean up after us, so we sure have to clean up after them.
All right, so now that I can get all this insulation out of the way, I gotta take this whole tunnel right here, and from the beginning all the way to about here, I need to make this whole thing taller, probably of at least 2 inches. I'm gonna get to cutting here, and then we can put the engine and transmission back in so that way I know for sure how much taller and wider and everything that needs to happen, just so that way we can get that TR6060 monster transmission in the D100. And that's how you do that.
I almost got all the piston rings installed. The reason I'm saying almost is because I'm missing one of the oil ring rails. So I've got that ordered for overnight delivery. In the meantime, I'm going to get as much done as I can. The next thing I'm going to do is install the bearings. Now, I noticed that these bearings, which are race-style bearings that are narrow, there's an upper and lower shell. You got to always check your bearing set. They'll be marked if they go in upper and lower. Most of the time, they're interchangeable top and bottom. The next thing I'm going to do is just get all that installed on the 7 that are ready to go and put them in the block.
Wiley, are you excited about putting the motor back in the D100 again?
I'm so excited.
You playing musical motors?
Yeah, this will be round 3.
Yeah. It's a good thing Dulcich has ordered all kinds of goodies for this truck, so now I can use one of the boxes as a template to make over the trans tunnel. But we got to get the motor training back in the truck before I can even tackle that.
I think I'm gonna ride it this time.
You're gonna ride
operate
it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna switch.
Send me into the air.
Switch jobs?
Yeah, let's go. A little
that'll
more?
clear.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go set it down real
Watch your
quick.
foot.
Yep. Do the old transmission straddle. All right, ready?
Go in,
Yeah, go in. Okay.
down.
We got the 5.7 Hemi installed and mocked up. So what I want to do here is get this thing as flat as possible because you don't want very much downward angle on the drive shaft because we know that Steve's going to take this thing to the drag strip and rip on it super hard, and that rear axle is going to go up into the car, and with that downward angle, it's not going to like it. So we're going to just throw this little level on here and see what we're at. We're at about 2.2 degrees, which Birdsong says is within a range that's okay. He said 0 is about perfect, but that's gonna do for now. So that should be good. As long as our transmission crossmember goes in and holds it in that exact spot, we'll be good.
It's trans tunnel time. Normally, I like using poster board because it's more pliable and flexible and easier to mark and work with and cut and trim with scissors, but what we have is cardboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cardboard in place and start trimming it to fit. So then I can hopefully find some loose sheet metal around here so I can cut, shape, bend it, and make it fit. So then the D100 muscle truck will have a new trans tunnel for the bigger TR6060 transmission with a Hemi in front of it. I figure what better way to replace the metal in the trans tunnel that we cut out of the Mopar Muscle Truck than to replace it with actual Mopar metal. Went digging through Dulcich's hood stash and we found the 67 Dodge Dart hood that we're going to use so I can lay my template on here and cut the metal that I need out of this hood. So this will be a perfect donor.
Our transmission crossmember brace just came in, and I'm gonna actually lift up the transmission, and this sits right on the top of the frame rail. So I'm gonna bolt this on, gonna line it up, mark the holes, and hopefully it just bolts right in. Our transmission adapter bracket didn't come with any hardware, and I sourced all the bolts, but the thing is, it looks like up here I'm gonna need a spacer, and what I'm gonna do is, I just went and found this nut, and it actually fits perfectly. The only problem is, the threads inside the nut are too small, so the bolt won't pass through. So I'm just gonna drill the threads out and use the nut as a spacer. The moment of truth. That'll do it.
I just want to give you a quick word on piston and rod assembly installation. I'm using a tapered bore ring compressor. This one's adjustable with the hose clamp because the Hemi's got kind of an odd sized bore and I didn't have one specific to this block at this bore size. I've already checked my rings staggered. They're where I want them. I made sure nothing got out of position when I put the ring compressor on. I put some plain motor oil on the bearings and also on the skirts. I use a little penetrating oil like WD-40 or equivalent on the rings. And this is ready for installation. What I'll do is make sure I've got full purchase of the ring compressor on the top of the bore and just tap it in with a few light strokes like that. If something jams up, you'll find it there, but if you ramrod, you've just got broken parts inside your brand new engine.
So Wiley and I have both been tag teaming this whole transmission install. Now that we've got this test fitted, the transmission cross members test fitted, we can go ahead and yank the engine and transmission back out of the truck and I can finish up my trim work so that way I can plug weld it and then we're gonna seam seal over that so then no moisture, dirt, no nothing is gonna get in between the seam of the hump and the original floor pan.
Since I'm waiting for the last ring to finish the short block, I'm gonna move on to the cylinder heads and get those prepped out. These particular units were development heads at Chrysler by their SRT group. They were gonna develop a CNC ported head, and these are what they came up with. I've never flowed them, but I have run them on the dyno, and they make really, really good horsepower. Are they as good as an Eagle or an Apache head? I don't know, but they're gonna be good enough for my truck. I've got a little bit of white powdery corrosion inside the combustion chambers. That's just from moisture and sitting around for a couple of years in the dyno shop. So I'm gonna use a very, very soft wire brush and just whisk it away like it's not even there. It comes off really easily. The next thing I'm gonna do is take the valve springs off and substitute them for these new conical springs that Comp recommended for the high lift cam that's gonna go into the engine. And with that, the heads will be ready to bolt on.
Steve's over there slaving away on the motor. Earlier, he mentioned to me that he would like to lower the vehicle by about 2 inches. So we went ahead and ordered some drop shackles for the back. Birdsong here is going to remove the weight off of the spring so that the bolt relieves itself from the shackle with ease. Boom. We've got our old shackle out of our truck, and as you can see, it's a little shorty guy. Here is our new shackle that we ordered from the interweb, and it is substantially longer than our old shackle. You might be wondering, how is a longer shackle actually gonna lower the car? Well, these are inverted shackles, so this sits in the shackle bucket like this, and the leaf spring mounts up here. So if you were to move the spring higher, you'll actually be lowering the vehicle. So that's exactly what this is gonna accomplish, and hopefully it's the ride height that we want. The bottom's gonna come out more. Here, go, get this thing out of the way real quick. There you go. Actually, right there, hold it right there. All right, there she is. We're home. All right, that was pretty sweet.
All right.
Drop her down, let's see what she looks like.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
What do you think? Any lower?
Actually,
Well, if I remember right, it was like 4 inches above the tire to the bottom of the wheel well.
I think it looks pretty good.
Well, with it lower down, that's less tire shrapnel to hit the guy behind Dulcich.
Yeah, it's a safety feature.
Yeah.
Lower your truck.
Yeah. Cool. That's one thing done.
Nice work, dude.
Time to carry on with the engine build. What I'm going to do next is install the cam and lifters. The cam is a comp 112-305-11, that's the part number, and it's 224-234 at 50, which sounds like kind of a modest camshaft, but don't be fooled. It's super fast action. It's got 634 lift on the intake, which is a lot, so it's gonna make good top end power. Once I get the cam in position, then I can install the lifter and the guiding trays, which go in from the top, and they have to be installed before the head. So I'm gonna get started on that right now, and this part of it will be done in no time flat. Next up are gonna be the cylinder heads. I've got CNC ported early generation heads. They use a multi-layered steel gasket. These are from Mopar, and they are directional. So there's a left and a right, and there's a left and a right head as well. So you don't want to put them on the wrong side. There we go. Next, I'll put the head on.
Birdsong and I have got the lowering shackles installed in the back, and the truck's sitting pretty much perfect in my book. So I think we're just gonna lift this thing up, blast the front suspension apart, and see if we can get the ride height to match in the front and back. Oh, look at this Black Widow. Oh, we got a big one here. Crikeys. That was in the control arm the whole time. We could have died.
The time's come to torque the cylinder heads. Now, you're not going to torque these the same way you would with your small block Mopar or small block Chevy or any older engines. These are torque to yield fasteners, so there's a whole different procedure. Basically, you're going to come in and torque all of your big bolts to 25 foot-pounds, 20 on the little ones. Then you're gonna go back and go to 40 foot-pounds on the big bolt, and then you've got to turn it 90 degrees more. I've got this angle finder. It's gonna tell me exactly when I've turned the bolts 90 degrees from 40 foot-pounds, and that's gonna be the exact specification that we're after. So I had this special tool, but you know, it's a little cumbersome and slow. I think I can pretty much judge 90 degrees, so I'm just gonna do this like this. If a grown engine builder can't judge at 90 degrees, might as well hand the job off to someone who can. Did I already tighten this one?
Dulcich's front suspension on the D100 muscle truck is completely clapped out. Everything is loose, the bushings are worn out, moved over, so we're gonna replace them. But what he did to do 2-in-1 here is he went and got a van lower control arm from the same generation of vans. 74 vans, 74 truck. What this does is it sets the spring pocket lower in the control arm. So if I set the spring inside the control arm, you'll see this one has a lower height. So what it does is it's basically the same thing as running a shorter spring. It's just recessing the spring in the control arm. So then it's gonna lower the truck. But there's a few things we do have to do to make this control arm fit the truck. One of those is it has a bigger diameter bolt. So we're gonna have to drill the frame rails out in order for the larger bolt to go through the rail. Another thing is the strut rod. This control arm has the strut rod that mounts right here in these two locations. If you look at the van one, there's no strut rod. So we're gonna have to drill those out in order for the strut rod to be able to mount up. There it is. Well, how's it coming?
My control arm's on.
Well, I can tell you what. We have no more parts.
No upper control arms?
Yep, no shocks, no upper control arms. We're no bushings. We're kind of stuck.
All right, well, want to go see what Steve's up to? Maybe we give him a hand?
Might as well.
Sweet. How's it going over here, Steve?
No, not bad. I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Looks like you're making some progress.
Yeah, I know, but the progress has kind of come to a halt because, what's missing here?
Uh-huh.
That is a pretty sweet looking 4-cylinder, Dulcich.
Actually, it looks like a 7-cylinder.
Yeah, I'm out of
Stand
parts.
corrected.
My ring didn't come in. I'm kind of dead in the water. I can't put the head on, I can't put the pants on the motor, I can't put the intake on. It's basically a standstill.
Well, don't feel too bad, because we're in the same situation. We don't have all the parts to finish the Mopar Muscle Truck either.
Well, I really don't feel that bad because we have that 74 Charger you brought me, and we can have fun with that, right?
We go clean that thing up?
If it's going to take us cleaning it up to get it on the road, I'm down for it.
So Birdsong drug this thing all the way from the desert out here, and this thing's packed full of dirt, rat turds, and all kinds of surprises. So instead of breathing stuff like that and letting it get into the eyeballs, we're gonna clean this thing up.
1988. I found the registration paperwork. There's so much dirt in the back seat.
I vacuumed out about 98% of all the scuzz that was in here. The seats are falling apart, and the headliner is still falling down, and stuff's probably still gonna be blowing around in our eyes. But I want to throw some seat covers on the seats just to keep everything contained. I'm gonna put a moving blanket over the back seat just to cover the whole thing, make it easy. And that's probably gonna be good enough for a test drive.
Now, even though this Charger was running when I brought it here, when we would wrap the throttle just for kicks, it would pop and fart and bang, which is kind of making us think that, hey, maybe the ignition system we need to take a look at. So I just pulled a plug real quick. And yeah, this thing is completely junk. It is so fouled out, I'm surprised it even kicked over and ran. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna put all new plugs in it, we're gonna put new wires on it, and we have a new coil just in case, because this coil here sat in the desert since 1988. So we got wires, we got a racing air cleaner, and we got our racing coil. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that on here, and hopefully we get some good bangs instead of some bad bangs. Dude, that thing just like grew up. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I've got some gas for you, and I got something else.
What's that?
Nothing but compliments, man. I really like what you've done to my new car.
Look what Wiley did to the interior.
Ah, it's detailed.
Pretty sweet, huh?
Oh, it's professional grade.
It's a Roadkill classic.
Check out your air cleaner, dude. Doesn't the air cleaner just make the engine bay?
Well, you add that along with the headers, the empty valve covers, the Edelbrock manifold, the carburetor, and all the other race stuff.
And we got new plugs and wires and a brand new racing coil.
The boys are kind enough to get everything ready for me. The only thing we have left is to check the timing, and we're gonna do that right now, top it off with gas, and hit the road.
Advance it.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Hold it right there.
Can I take it there?
Lock it down right there.
Okay, perfect.
That's 33 degrees on the money. That should give us lots of horsepowers.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, let's see what this thing can do.
Well, we will.
I haven't ridden in this thing.
You haven't?
No. And look, the tack still works.
I know.
I haven't ridden in this thing. Dude, this thing sounds healthy.
This is the Bro Charger.
I know, the
Dude,
Bro Ham.
The Bro Charger, Dulcich.
Bro Charger.
Oh, man.
So,
It's not popping
Sounds
anymore.
like an airplane.
No. So, Wiley, it's got an exhaust system on one side
Yeah.
and an open pipe on the other side.
It's a asymmetrical exhaust system.
No, you know what you call that?
What's that?
Street strip.
Street
Yeah.
strip. Oh,
Half side
50-50?
street, half side strip.
It's kind of like a mullet a little bit.
Dude, this thing's just cruising.
Yeah. You just don't know the feeling of
It's
Being
not
behind the wheel with the bros and the bro-ham charger?
it's not popping and farting or nothing.
No.
It is pretty sick. This thing sat for so long, and you just threw a carb on it, and it's good to go.
Right?
The wheel alignment's
The
even
speedo
perfect.
works. Look at that.
No! Wow. The brakes
And
work.
the brakes work. You see, one other thing about the 74 Chargers, they have the isolated front K-frame suspension.
And an isolated transmission crossmember and an ISO clamp rear suspension.
So this is supposed to handle better and ride smoother. What do you think?
I'm convinced already.
This thing is good.
The dash says 78,000 miles.
I
Yeah.
know. I was thinking 178.
No, that's 70,000.
70,000?
This thing's only got 70,000 miles on it.
Oh my gosh.
This thing was probably in mint condition when it went to the yard. I don't know what kind of shape the shocks are in, but this is...
Not good.
Oh my gosh, this thing handles better than the T37.
Look at the body roll.
Oh my god.
Almost non-existent.
I think the door handle hit the pavement on this
I
side.
heard that.
Like the mirror is swinging. This is our G-force meter.
It is. She gets up and goes.
Kinda.
Not really, but ain't too
But
bad.
it's
for-
been sitting since 1988.
Yeah, actually it's not bad.
No.
Pretty great.
It handles.
Oh wait, our G-force meter.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we hit that
We
side.
pegged it.
Oh.
Oh man, I'm gonna throw you guys right
Oh, my
out of the car.
seatbelt
I
came
keep that up.
unbuckled. Oh my gosh.
How good will it do a Brody through the dirt, Dulcich?
A what?
How good will it do a Brody?
Is there anybody behind me?
No.
I'll try brodying out right here.
Oh, it's going.
Man. That was picturesque, Dulcich.
Yeah, man. It'll brody out, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet, dude. Was he hit a rolling burnout?
Oh, dude.
Let's see if it'll burn out one whole telephone pole length.
Oh yeah.
You think?
And these are decent sized tires too.
That's a long way.
She might make it.
I
Did it
think
do
you
it?
just barely made it.
I think it made it. What did you think,
Yeah.
Wiley? What was the view like from
Pretty
back
damn
there?
close.
It's close.
Yeah, dude, that's impressive. Oh my god.
Man, it throws you back in your seat. I mean, I don't want to feel like I'm boasting here or, you know, bragging on my car. I reckon you could just point this thing east and make it all the way to New York City. Yeah. Wow.
This thing is awesome, Dulcich.
The bottom line is I'm super happy with where we're at. The Mopar Muscle Truck hasn't been on the road in, I would say, as much as 2 years. And I wanted to get that thing Hemi swapped. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go as far as the 6-speed transmission, but these guys made that all happen. At least they've got it all lined up where we can pick it up and get the thing running and driving. The bonus for me really was right here. This 74 Dodge Charger, I wasn't expecting. Birdsong and I talked about it. I'd never seen the car, and it's a running, driving vintage Charger. It delivered the goods after these guys got it running and got it cleaned up enough for us all to jump in.
It's a Bro Charger.
It's the Bro Charger.
The Charger's super fun, man. This thing's great.
Yeah. Once we get all the parts together, it's only going to be a little more work to get the Mopar Muscle Truck all together and running with the Hemi and 6-speed combo. And when we do, you'll see it on an episode of Roadkill Garage.
You've got the whole Z-bar linkage, all that stuff?
Yeah, I'll pull all that out. If you want to try and get the drive shaft,
Yeah.
that'll equal things out. And you get that header, I'll get this header.
I'm good at holding drive shafts.
I got my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. I'll take my whiskey neat, my coffee plug and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. You're too sweet for me. Too sweet for me. I aim low, I aim true on the grounds where I go. I work late where I'm free from the phone. And the job gets done, but you worry some. I know, but who wants to live forever, babe? You treat your mother as if it's heaven's gate. The rest of you like you're the TSA. I wish I could go along, but don't get me wrong. You know you're bright as the morning, soft as the rain, pretty as a vine, as sweet as a grape. You can see the